Reze would eat you alive, literally.
He could literally eat me alive, and I don't love it. Bakugo versus Reze. My Hero Academia versus Chainsaw Man. Death battle. Goodbye, death battle. So after much request, I am doing another death battle video. And this one is I don't know how this one is gonna go. I just got my new laptop and I haven't really set up everything, but you know, fuck it, we ball. Anyway, the original video will be in the description below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and without further ado, let's get it.
Well, well, look who's here.
Bakugo versus Reze.
The god of explosions versus the bomb devil.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Wait, who do you got for this one? For this one, okay, I love both series, but for this one, I'm gonna go with Reze because hybrids are effectively immortal. So I have to go with Reze. But Bakugo has, like, stronger firepower, I think. I don't know. This is gonna be a good one. Comments below, tell me who you got.
Wiz, there's nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning, the rush of the shockwave, the flash of combustion. I love it when stuff goes boom.
And no one knows that feeling better than Katsuki Bakugo.
When your name literally means powerful bomb, it's no wonder he was born with the quirk Explosion. It lets Bakugo create humongous kabooms from his palms. I can only dream of having hands that rad.
Quirks are genetic superpowers that most humans are born.
I don't care what quirk you get, as long as it's not like a mutant type quirk, you can do something with it. Like, every quirk is like, can be stupidly powerful, as long as it's not like a mutant type quirk.
With. Bakugo inherited his quirk from his parents. Specifically, it was a combination of his father's combustible acid sweat and his mother's glycerin skin secretions.
Making Bakugo sweat basically like nitroglycerin, and the more he sweats, the bigger the booms. His parents basically made the perfect kid, absolutely oozing with shonen main character energy.
Bakugo felt similarly, so much so that he started bullying his childhood friend who happened to be born without a quirk.
I'm just gonna say this, I'm just gonna say this. And Bakugo, Endeavor, Shoto, and Shuggy, they had the best character development in the whole show.
Okay, he's kind of a snot-nosed turd sometimes, but come on, Wiz! The kabooms! They're so cool!
Quirks are a natural biological feature of a person's body. In the same way that we don't really think about walking or breathing, Bakugo's explosions became like any other limb, especially with his rigorous training.
Bakugo quickly picked up on how to use his explosions to obliterate anything in sight, block attacks, launch himself around, and quickly maneuver in midair at hypersonic.
I think that's like the best application of it, just being able to fly around. Like, what I wouldn't give to be able to fly, I would totally make a demonic deal for that.
Speeds, which requires a ton of focus and on-the-fly calculations.
And despite getting this incredibly dangerous quirk when he was 4, he somehow never killed himself or anyone else that we know of. Bakugo was truly a prodigy.
That we know of. That was very important to add. That was very important to add, and that we know of.
Destined for greatness.
And his only goal was to surpass Japan's numero uno superhero and his personal idol, All Might. In Bakugo's mind, the only person who wins no matter what. Absolute victory. No problem for the main character.
Except Katsuki wasn't the protagonist that he thought he was. That would be Izuku Midoriya, the quirkless child Bakugo bullied. In truth, he was threatened by Izuku's tenacity despite being quirkless.
Really? That crybaby's the main character? Well, Bakugo's inferiority complex would only get worse when
Oh yeah, it was a total superiority and then immediate inferiority complex thing. But again, he had like amazing character arc. And then Shoto and Endeavor, their whole family drama was amazing. And then, I will guess, well, Shiggy, his development was amazing. And then even All Might himself. I mean, Deku didn't really develop, and that was kind of the point of his character. Like, he developed by developing his powers, but like, as a character, He didn't develop that much.
Who somehow landed a quirk that was just as cool, and both were accepted to the same superhero high school, UA High.
There, he would learn to be a superhero and fully develop his
This is just basically Japan's version of the movie Sky High.
ultimate moves.
Like flying through the sky faster than sound with turbo speed, blinding people with stun grenade, focusing his blasts into armor-piercing shots, or making a big-ass tornado of death.
The howitzer impact involves Bakugo spinning himself in midair with his
I can't lie, I think this is my favorite move in My Hero Academia, the Hauser Impact. Oh, if you don't know, I love like fire and like fire-based powers. Like in any world, I would, like if this was Avatar The Last Airbender, I would want to either be a firebender or an airbender. Then I would take water if if I had a choice, or if I didn't have a choice, then it would be earthbending, but I'd fight more like Kubera.
explosions, building up a tremendous amount of swirling oxygen,
Hauser
and then
impact is
igniting
really
it
cool.
all for one hell of a boom.
He's pretty smart when it comes to strategizing mid-fight. He even developed new techniques for his quirk faster than Deku did.
UA High also aided Bakugo's development by preparing him with his iconic Grenadier bracers, gauntlets that allow him to store up his sweat, gross, for prolonged bouts, or to release all of it at once in a single massive blast.
He's also got his hero suit, which helps him sweat faster in order to build up stronger attacks. Or the Strafe Panzer, these badass turrets mounted to his back that store his sweat as ammo. With all of that, it wasn't long before Bakugo made his hero debut, called
You know, I love that Bakugo basically learned full Cowley. I love it so much. I love it. When Bakugo was fighting Shiggy and he evolved his quirk, and that was basically his version of full Cowley. 10, I love it.
the Bombshell Hero, Great Explosion Murder God, Dynamite. Hey, I dig it. The more colons, the
Dynamite, you get it? Because All Might, Dynamite, you get it?
merrier.
But despite some early wins, Bakugo failed to live up to his own sky-high expectations. He had the makings of a great hero, if only he could get out of his own way and put the team before his ego.
Especially when he was kidnapped by the League of Villains, ultimately leading Bakugo to blame himself for All Might's retirement. Something
I understand Bakugo in this situation. He effectively killed his hero, and Deku was the one who was chosen. I get it. His anger is misplaced. His frustration is misplaced, but I get it. Also, this was like one of the most iconic fights between the two of them. They were just amazing. Like, this was the first time that Deku didn't back down, and he could actually stand toe-to-toe with Bakugo. Granted, Bakugo still won at the end, and that's how I think it is when it comes to Bakugo versus Deku. I think Deku is just like stacked power-wise, but like fight IQ-wise, I think Bakugo would win. Like if they had a similar level of power and it was all just like technique, who can out-technique each other, I think Bakugo would win. At least until Gear Shift gets introduced. I think he could probably keep up with Fajin, but not Gear Shift.
needed to change.
So he vented his frustrations in a slugfest with Deku and realized something
I love this
crucial.
fight.
That the kind of absolute victory that defined All Might wasn't victory for himself, but victory for everyone.
He was starting to become the prodigy everyone knew he could be. I mean, hell, even while he was unconscious, he kept analyzing the fight he was in and coming up with counters. Somehow,
Bakugo's powerful enough to shatter Todoroki's heaven-piercing ice wall, fast enough to keep up with villains like Shigaraki, who can catch light beams, and tough enough to survive, well,
being dead? Yep, you heard us. Bakugo was killed, dead as a doornail. And then a single bead of sweat floating through his bloodstream detonated and restarted his heart. If that isn't main character plot armor, I don't know what is.
The most part in the manga was amazing when Bakugo stood back up, locked eyes with Deku, looked over at All Might, and then immediately flew over. And that was such a great moment in the manga, and I'm so glad that the anime did it justice. I'm literally crying right now. That's how good it was.
Stamina is perhaps the craziest thing about him. After all, he is tanking the recoil of all of his explosions.
Even with the overuse of his blasts literally tearing his body apart, he kept trying to make him stronger, and eventually his quirk
Bakugo is like Wonder Woman, and that's what it is. Bakugo is like Wonder Woman. He will not stop fighting until either you're dead or he's dead. He's just like Wonder Woman in that, like, kind of aspect.
Awakened.
Essentially, Winnie Quirk evolves to become stronger. Now, by condensing his explosions into smaller and more powerful clusters, Bakugo could enhance all of his techniques.
Like the Howitzer Impact Cluster, a stunning achievement in the field of explosionology, or kaboom theory for the layman.
Powerful enough to shatter the side of a mountain, or blow apart UA itself. Judging by the school's size, we can estimate Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster yielded over 300 kilotons.
But still isn't Bakugo at his strongest. We gotta see him during the All for One fight. Yeah, Bakugo's not at his strongest yet.
Of TNT.
Given Bakugo's whole deal is explosions, it makes sense to science out what a ton of TNT actually is. It's literally the energy contained in 1,000 kilograms of trinitrotoluene.
A chemical compound composed of hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon.
That's the recipe for kabooms. Now, imagine a pile of TNT as big as the Empire State Building blowing up all at once. That's Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster.
And these explosions can launch him so fast, it's like time stands still around him.
Like when he covered a huge part of this city in a fraction of a second. Almost 400.
What I wouldn't give to have powers like this. I'm telling you, demonic deals are on the table. Blood sacrifices and all of that. For powers like this? Yeah. And that being said, I wouldn't be evil. I would just do whatever I wanted to do. And as long as you stayed out of my way, I wouldn't hurt you.
Times the speed of sound.
And that's not all. Now he can detonate his sweat remotely and from all over his body, not just his palms.
With all of this crazy bullshit, Bakugo became one of the strongest heroes on Earth, enough to battle and defeat All Might's lifelong arch nemesis, All for One. Yeah, that's right, the main villain. Who's the protagonist now, Deku?
Bakugo literally and figuratively surpassed his childhood idol and proved his mettle as a hero.
Number 5 on the rankings and rising. Not bad, Kachan.
But more important than proving it to his friends, to All Might, or even to
There was Shinzo too. Nello Shinzo. He's like Aizawa Jr. Like, there's Dad Zawa, there's Shinzo Zawa, and then there's Eri Zawa. Yeah.
Deku. He proved it to himself.
Yeah, whatever. Take that, losers! Sickest quirk in the world over here! Dynamite! Dynamite! Dynamite!
You know what? You know what ship I was really interested in? You know what ship I was really interested in? You know what ship I was really interested in? Okay, so everyone was focused on the Deku Ochiko ship or the Deku Toga ship, and they were focused on the Shoto Momo ship. They were focused on the Shoto and the Momo ship. But you know what my ship always was? My favorite ship? The ship I would sail into the distance on? Kirishima and Mina Ashido. They are my favorite ship. Like, when he ran out there to save her, when she got scared by Gigantomachia, and he just, like, burst out of nowhere and threw her out of the way, I cried. I'm woman enough to admit it.
Wiz, what happened to you? You look funny. And
order right.
oh, like the one.
Mine's way cuter. Boomstick. There's a chance he might definitely want one. It's only available. Death, war, famine, conquest. Humanity has been plagued by all manner of ills.
Full disclosure. If we lived in the world of Chainsaw Man, I'm making a contract to become a hybrid. Full disclosure. I'll find the right devil. I will find the right devil, but I'm becoming a hybrid. There is no world in which there are superpowers that exist, and I don't find a way to get some. Which is why I don't understand Batman. But, yeah, no. In a world where powers exist, I don't care if I have to be a bad guy for a while. I am getting superpowers.
Since they first crawled out of the primordial ooze. In the world of Chainsaw Man, there is nothing to fear but fear itself.
Because fear itself is real, and they're called devils.
Literally devils from hell. These monstrous beings are the living embodiments of humanity's worst nightmares, and their power is directly proportional.
I just thought about it. I would make a contract with the burning devil to become a hybrid. So, or, I would make a contract with either the fire or the burning devil. Either one. Because I think more people are afraid of burning than they are of fire. So that would probably make me stronger. What devil would you make a contract with? If you would. And the rules are, You can't use a devil that was already shown. And for any of you that's automatically gonna go to the nuclear bomb devil or something like that, and before anybody goes there, that's thermal energy. You get burned in that. So I automatically upscale you. I think the only person who would be able to upscale me would be like the coldness of space. But even then, the sun burns through that.
To that fear.
So the chicken devil might be so weak you could keep him as a class pet, like, a chicken. But what about the bat devil, or the ghost devil, or the devil embodying
It wasn't Asa's fault. She's autistic.
man's fears of one of the greatest weapons it's ever created, the bomb devil?
Little is known about the origins of the Bomb Devil's current host, Reze, if that even is her real name.
She might look cute and kawaii, but she's actually a Soviet assassin trained from birth to be one of the deadliest killers on the planet. Basically a Black Widow.
If I was Denji, I don't blame Denji at all. I don't blame him at all. I would have probably folded. I probably would have. Called, if you don't know, hi Kuro, proud lesbian, yeah. But for Mommy Reze, but Mommy Makima, ooh, that is a hard decision. That's nice. Mommy Makima or Mommy Reze? Take your pick.
A cold and lonely existence for anyone, but quadruply so in a world as effed up as this.
But all Reze wanted was a safe, normal, quiet life. As much a fable to her as Aesop's Country Mouse.
Too bad! You are now a walking, talking explosive. Have fun.
At some point, the girl known as Reze was implanted with a fragment of the Bomb Devil and became a hybrid, a human possessing a devil's powers without sacrificing their humanity, transforming their body into a living weapon.
As a hybrid, Reze's strength and speed are way crazier than a normal human's, and with her martial arts training, she's a force to be reckoned with up close.
She has an amazing outfit for when she transforms. And I'm not just saying that because she's not wearing any shoes or socks.
Also, Wiz, check out the bomb for a head!
Someone like Reze would eat you alive, literally.
He could literally eat me alive, and I don't love it.
Should devils like Reze take any damage whatsoever, they can heal by consuming blood.
And that lets hybrids survive some
Okay, I have to. Obligatory.
Consuming blood.
And that
Okay, shut up. It's my channel. I do what I want.
lets hybrids survive some pretty insane stuff, like having their limbs torn off, getting bisected clean in half, or being roasted alive. Just slurp some blood and they're good as new.
Especially useful considering the Bomb Devil's primary ability is literally blowing herself up. Reze
So the blood thing might be a little gross. But it is something I am willing to do for that healing factor.
can emit explosions from any
Like
surface
Scarlet
of
from
her
Mortal
body,
Kombat.
even tearing off limbs and turning them into bombs that she can detonate at will.
Damn, that's hardcore. She can use these blasts to jet through the sky at hypersonic speeds, maneuver and redirect herself in midair, and enhance the strength and speed of her blows.
Or
Is she fast enough to keep up with Bakugo? He's not as fast as Gear Shift Deku, but he's as fast as Fajin Fo 100% Deku. Can Reze keep up with that?
Reze can send sparks that can ignite the atmosphere in explosions that tear apart entire cities, making herself stronger the more fear her wanton destruction creates.
As long as the area around her is dry enough to maintain ignition, Reze can create as many explosions as she wants, non-stop.
She can even turn her own body into different types of real-world bombs to massively enhance their power.
Like transforming her leg into a torpedo, or her apron into dynamite. Every single inch of Reze is a living weapon.
And I am loving every single inch of Reze.
This made her feared across the devil world as one of their mightiest warriors, and the perfect choice to assassinate Japan's newly acquired devil hybrid, Chainsaw Man.
You see, you might not think chainsaws are all that scary, at least not compared to bombs, but the Chainsaw Devil is special.
Any devil the Chainsaw Devil consumes becomes deleted from reality, retroactively erased from humanity's collective consciousness.
And here I thought chainsaws were for boring stuff like trees or Texas massacres. Silly me.
This
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing was based on a real story. There was actually a massacre in Chainsaw, and I think there was actually a massacre in Texas, and it involved the chainsaw like way back in the day, I believe. And the reason I like hold on to that fact is because my brother, he moved out there to Texas, and I am afraid for him.
This ability makes the Chainsaw Devil the most important being alive and invaluable for any global power to control.
Except instead of meeting the fearsome chainsaw of legend, Reze met Denji, a dumb, horny teenage boy just looking for someone.
Everyone always asks about Chainsaw Man's heart, but no one ever asks about Denji's heart. And that's sad. Also, I wonder, if a human eats like part of a hybrid, will they become like a lesser hybrid? I mean, it's like worth a try, right? Because we've only ever seen devils eat other devils, but I don't think we've seen a human eat a devil who wasn't already a hybrid.
Anyone to love.
And for once, Reze actually hesitated. Rather than immediately kill her target, she got to know him and found they weren't so different. Both were used as tools of the state, as weapons of war rather than people. A kindred spirit in a hostile world, Denji wanted to drink up as much of the excitement of life as he could. The town mouse.
Oh my god, this kiss scene in the manga. Oh my god. Oh, by the way, so you guys know Chainsaw Man is over, right? I'm hoping that Fujimoto comes back with a part 3. I'm hoping.
To her country mouse.
And thankfully, he was super easy for a pretty face to manipulate.
The crazy part is, even after seeing this, she's still hot to me. If I were Denji and she spit out my tongue, I would kiss her again. Oh wait, the fact that she has this tongue means that they were tongue kissing.
It wouldn't be the only time.
Reze's nothing if not professional, and she gave Denji one parting gift to teach him the way devils did battle before he died.
As the embodiment of one of the deadliest weapons known to man, Reze's power is off the charts, capable of creating an explosion more than 400 meters in diameter. That's over 4
Yodo could still solo her.
football fields long.
To have a blast that size, you'd need to be exploding with over 2 kilotons of TNT.
More than comparable to
Wait, they should do a death battle with Asa and Yoru. They should. That would be an amazing one, especially from the end of the manga.
nuclear weapons, which is really impressive considering Reze is not the devil of nuclear bombs. That's apparently an entirely separate thing.
Despite her bombs being technically conventional, they're just that strong.
Likely comparable to other powerful devils like the Gun Devil, who could travel across the world and kill millions of people in 5 minutes.
That'd be over 500 times the speed of sound.
She's even stronger than the Typhoon Devil, a sentient city-spanning storm.
The literal coughing baby.
That would be a good devil to make a contract with. You could be like Zahir from Legend of Korra. I would assume if you're making a contract with this devil, or if you're making a contract with the devil period, you're not like the best person, like morally. So I'm not gonna like try to say you're gonna be like Tenzin or Aang, because if you're making a contract with a devil, you're probably not gonna be. I wonder, can you become a hybrid for multiple devils? Like, if you implant multiple devils into you, how does that work?
To her hydrogen bomb.
Unfortunately for Reze, Denji took her lessons to heart and proved he was more than a fitting host for the Chainsaw Devil.
He whooped her ass, but spared her life, just in case her seduction wasn't a total act after all.
But it wasn't meant to be. Whether Reze chose the safe life of the country mouse or the exciting life of the town mouse, there are hungry cats everywhere.
Oh, Makima, what I would give to find someone to kill you.
Reze's dreams of freedom were never realized. She simply changed hands from one cold, unfeeling entity to another. And this time, there was no escape. She was a weapon, a symbol of man.
Wait, but I thought you couldn't kill hybrids. Like, as long as you, like, even if you kill them, as long as they get blood, they come back to life. So, is Reze actually dead?
His bottomless capacity for malice and self-destruction.
A living bomb.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
I still think Bakugo is going to lose because he can't regen. Reze can just keep coming back. Oh, you're not even gonna talk to her? Okay.
I've been sent to collect your head, Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
Better villains than you have tried, lady.
Well, looks like I spoke too soon.
You tell.
Also, she would technically be a villain. She would technically be a villain. So him saying that is kind of on point.
Your boss says that after I send you back in a coffin!
How would I tell them that if I was already dead? Wow, you're quick.
Shut up and die!
Wait, I like
That
that
if I was
maneuver
already
that Reze
dead.
just did. It's like she's swimming through the air.
How would I tell them that if I was already dead?
She's swimming through the air.
Wow, you're quick.
Is it bad that I'm kind of jealous of Bakugo right now? You know?
Shut up and die!
Not just because of his talent. Oh, for heck.
Damn!
Now, Bakugo, you know as a professional hero, you're not allowed to kill. Wait, are the heroes in My Hero Academia allowed to kill? Because no one had a problem when they thought All Might killed All for one. So is it like we would prefer you not to kill, but it's okay if you have to kill type of situation? How does that work, actually?
Oh, damn!
You know, for a second I thought that was dangerous, and then I was like, wait, Bakugo. And once again, I am now jealous of Bakugo. I am now jealous of him. I would prefer a hit, though. And now I'm completely jealous of Bakugo. By the way, I'm pretty sure this does not make you a furry. Because she's not an animal, she's a bomb.
Oh, it's on!
And that's his strongest move. But why is he using it so early? Granted though, he hasn't gone plus ultra, which is a thing in My Hero. So even if he uses it now, if he plus ultras later, and then I can see that being a finisher. But even still, I don't think he can beat Reze only because of that immortality. Or resurrection.
Move it or lose it, people!
Save me, Dynamite!
No. No, that is not a civilian. And I think she just bitchy.
Go with me!
Also, I love the fact that they did 3D, like, cell shading. This is, so if you guys don't know, I'm actually making a video game. And this is the type of graphics I'm trying to, like, strive for when I make it. I don't need it to be, like, one of those photorealistic games. It's gonna be an anime game. But secondly, she bit him in, like, his neck. Shouldn't he, like, bleed to death now? Because he doesn't have regen.
Boom.
I guess he could, like, burn the wound close.
Leave them out of this!
Dynamite, your blood was delicious.
That's not how Bakugo can resurrect his heart. He can resurrect himself. He did do that, but that's not how that works. He got patched up by, not Best Genius, well, I guess it was Best Genius, but it was Best Genius, Headshot, and the, Bubble Person. They all had to work together to close up his wounds. He should still be bleeding out.
You bit off a bit more than you could chew! My blood isn't the only thing you drank! It's my sweat you should worry about, dumbass!
He's using his full cowling form. And I think he's about to go plus ultra.
I'm aiming for absolute victory! Howitzer! Impact! Cluster!
okay, not to be that one girl, and I did kind of switch sides mid-fight, but shouldn't Reze be able to, like, respawn via her legs that were, like, blown off into the distance? Reze should be able to respawn via her legs that were blown off into the distance when he, like, did the sweat after she bit him, and it cut her in half. As I mean, good job getting rid of the top part, but the bottom part should still be able to regen.
Scratch that. Not enough for a coffin. KO!
Oh, Denji, we're so sorry to hear about your girlfriend that passed away. She gets 5 big booms. Boom! Boom!
Please just shut up. On the surface, these two seemed evenly matched. So let's break this fight down into 3 categories: their speed, their stamina, and their firepower.
First up, let's talk speed.
Both Bakugo and Reze could rocket through the sky at hypersonic speeds and maneuver and redirect themselves on a dime in the middle of fights. To the casual observer, at least, they'd seem to be on par with each other.
So we have to look at the people
But
they
I would
fought
think
to
that
compare.
Bakugo would be
Reze has
faster.
battled Chainsaw Man, who could match and defeat someone using the Gun Devil's power.
The same gun devil that could literally fly around the world, killing millions of people at over 500.
Wasn't that a stronger Denji who fought the gun fiend? I almost said it, but I caught myself. I almost said it, but I caught myself. But wasn't that yeah, that was a stronger Denji, right? Denji was stronger by that point, so I don't know.
100 times the speed of sound.
Impressive, but compare that to Bakugo fighting Shigaraki, who could react fast enough to catch light beams with his bare hands.
no.
That's
I
over
always knew
1,000
Bakugo was
times faster. And that was before Bakugo's quirk awakening that made him even faster than that.
With reaction speed of that caliber, there's little chance Reze could ever get the drop on Bakugo, and would likely be forced to play catch-up in a duel. Speed goes to Bakugo.
However, speed doesn't matter if one couldn't truly hurt the other. A big part of this fight is their stamina.
Bakugo's durability is mind-boggling. He's survived being impaled through the torso, and has even brought himself back to life.
But unlike
Again, the back to life thing was very situational because let's say he did that and then his like sweat went off inside him and brought him back to life. Timber best genius and S-Shot didn't sew him back up. He would have still just bled out. And Bakugo's laying on the ground with a gaping hole in his neck just bleeding. So he's probably gonna die. So if you really like think about it, Reze technically wins this.
Reze, his stamina does eventually hit a limit. Every explosion he makes whittles him down just a little bit more and uses up more and more of his sweat. Without a break, he can eventually run out.
Whereas Reze can effectively create bombs without respite, and from a distance.
Unlike Bakugo, who usually likes to get up close and personal.
Furthermore, her devil hybrid physiology gives her a regenerative healing factor, allowing her to shrug off the same kind of mortal blows that would eventually kill Bakugo, main character plot armor or not.
If this ever became a war of attrition, Reze had it in the bag. Stamina goes to Reze.
However, it's unlikely it would ever get to that point. The biggest factor in this fight was always going to be their raw firepower.
Explosions! First, we gotta compare their 2 biggest blasts, Reze's nuclear light bomb against Denji versus Bakugo's howitzer impact cluster.
And the difference is obvious. Based on calculating their sizes, Bakugo's 300 kiloton explosion was over
This I agree with. I agree with this. Bakugo has way more firepower.
100 times more powerful than Reze's 2 kiloton blast.
But that's not all. Remember the Typhoon Devil.
Coughing baby or not, to create a storm big enough to cover Tokyo's over 2,000 square kilometers, he'd have to be generating more than 400 kilotons of TNT.
Greater than Bakugo, right? But that's not all. Again, Bakugo's howitzer impact once shattered the size of this big-ass mountain. And despite being earlier on in the series, it was ginormous. Almost 3 kilometers in radius.
Or just over 2 megatons of TNT. 5 times more powerful than the Typhoon Devil, and way beyond anything we've seen Reze do.
And this was Bakugo before reaching his full power in his fight against All For One. Bakugo takes the
I'm so glad they mentioned the All For One fight. I'm so glad that they mentioned the All For One fight. That's what I was waiting for. Woo! That's what I've been waiting for!
final edge in explosions.
And remember, Bakugo withstands the recoil of all his blasts. So even though Reze had greater stamina, Bakugo was more than tough enough to hang on and get his kill shot, especially with his superior speed.
And devil healing factors can be overtaxed with enough damage.
And that's what I'm saying. Bakugo is like Wonder Woman. He does not stop until either you're dead or he's dead.
Hell, she needed to drink blood a couple times against Denji just to keep fighting.
Against someone as fast and powerful as
love
Bakugo,
that
she
scene,
would not get the
and I
chance
know
to
you
heal
know what scene I'm
consistently
talking
or
about.
perhaps at all.
And what happens when devils die? They Bakugo to hell.
The winner is
wow.
Katsuki Bakugo.
Bombshell, hero, great explosion, murder, god, dynamite! Next time on Death Battle.
Ooh, next time. What's next time? Is that Megamind? Megamind versus Gru? Oh my god, that'd be amazing!
Subscribe and join as a
And Gru versus Megamind, that's amazing. You know, just up for biases, yeah, I'm going with Megamind already. I don't even know how their feats compare because I haven't watched all of the Despicable Me movies. That's like more of my little sister's thing. But I was there for Megamind. I'm going for Megamind. But yeah, no, this one was a good fight. I didn't expect Bakugo to win. I knew he had better firepower. I just thought that he shouldn't be able to permanently kill Reze. Like, Reze should come back. But I did kind of switch sides, and I am happy that Bakugo won. But this was a fun one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully it's not too bad on my new computer. I literally just got it today, so I didn't really get a chance to like set up things like my old one was. But with that out of the way, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we will do it again next time. The later, losers. KuroKumo out.